We're talking about tonometry and glaucoma detection and prevention. I'm Joseph Granelli.
I'm Lauren. Here's an outline of what we're going over. Starting with the background, we'll go over the gold standard, how it works, a comparison, and conclusion.
All right, so since we are talking about glaucoma, just a little background. Approximately 4 million people in the United States do have glaucoma, but only about half of them know they have it. This is either because they aren't diagnosed or they don't show symptoms. So glaucoma actually is a result of IOP, or intraocular pressure, increasing. So what happens is that as the pressure increases in your eye, it puts pressure on your optic nerve, and then it will get to a certain point where the pressure is too great, where you actually don't have any more signaling going to your brain. So it kind of stops the signaling, so that actually is the cause of blindness. So glaucoma is actually a major cause of blindness.
All right, and this shows a comparison between a person that has normal vision and a person who has with glaucoma. As you can see on the right-hand side, the person with glaucoma has a diminished visual field, and the contrast is not as appropriate as it is in a person with normal vision.
So since glaucoma results from an increase in IOP, there are devices out there that measure this IOP, more specifically a tonometer. So, like I said, a tonometer does measure intraocular pressure. An important thing to note is that there are multiple measurement devices out there. However, we're only going to be focusing on 2 types, which is applanation and non-contact tonometry. So, applanation tonometry consists of the Goldman tonometer, and the non-contact consists of air puff. And here's a really important thing to note, that both of these devices are measuring force. So either you increase or decrease the force, but they actually hold the area constant. And since pressure equals force over area, that's how you can get your pressure reading, because you're changing the force but holding the area constant. So that's actually how you get your pressure reading. And like I said, the medical significance is it's a diagnostic and preventative measure of IOP and glaucoma. So our gold standard is, like I said, the Goldman tonometer. So basically what happens is you have the tonometer, and it requires a slit lamp, fluorescence eye drops, and also anesthetizing eye drops. So the important thing also is it requires physical contact with your cornea. So the tonometer will be placed on your eye. That's why anesthetizing drops are used. So the optometrist will place your face in like the chin strap and the device, and then they'll slowly crank a dial which moves the tonometer closer to your eye. And then when contact is made, they'll increase force or decrease force. And what they're looking at is, on the top picture, they're looking through a prism, and there's a light shining through which emits the fluorescence for the eye. And they're trying to align those green semicircles to a point where they barely touch. So the dial either increases or decreases the space in between. And when those lines are touching is when you have the intraocular pressure reading, and that is given on the dial, and then you multiply it by 10, and that's your pressure reading.
Okay, and then the other method is non-contact tonometry, which instead of using physical contact with the eye and a slit lamp, uses a puff and an electro-optical system. So likewise, the patient is put into the chin rest, and the air puff will come towards the center of the eye, but there's also a laser that is reflected at the side of the eye. And the laser basically indicates when the eye has been flattened to the degree you want it to be flattened, which is 3.06 millimeters. And that measurement is used just because that's the measurement that's been determined to be able to determine pressure and at the most accurate rate. And so the puff is released, and when it is flattened at that rate, that enables the laser to be reflected back into the instrument itself, and that terminates the air puff. And at the instant that the puff is terminated, a force is given, and that is converted into a pressure that will be used as a pressure reading. Here's a comparison between the non-contact and the Goldman. The Goldman is the gold standard, so it is considered more accurate. But the measurement is subjective. It is based on the discretion of the technician who's aligning the green semicircles, as Joe was talking about. So it does require some technical expertise and experience in that area. In both cases, individual eye anatomy can influence the data as far as the thickness of individual corneas and the mechanical properties of people's corneas. Because the Goldman utilizes contact, numbing drops are needed, and the amount of dye that is placed in the eye can skew the data. With the non-contact, because there is no contact, there's no risk of damage to the cornea itself, and numbing drops are not needed. And sanitation does not have to be considered as greatly. But because it does give you an instantaneous read reading, multiple readings over a time interval are required for complete accuracy.
All right, so in conclusion, we have determined that the Goldman tonometer, as well as research and all that kind of stuff, that it remains the gold standard because of its accuracy. However, research fields in science always is trying to improve on the current design, so future models are trying to address various issues, including portability. The Goldman tonometer and the aircraft tonometer are actually pretty big, so you can't use them outside of an optometrist's office. They're trying to make them so that less expertise is needed, so maybe like a nurse can do it as opposed to an optometrist. Also, sanitary measures are trying to be improved upon, and they're trying to lessen the dependence on different eye anatomies to make a better tonometer.
Like what values is usually associated with glaucoma? Like how much pressure does it take for glaucoma?
It's up to about 6. I think it's 60 millimeters of mercury. But it depends because certain people. It's all like certain people can have just kind of high eye pressure, but they don't have glaucoma, and it's just kind of their own certain thing. But I think the number is around 60.
For those people who have generally high eye pressure, what is the test that actually distinguishes them from not having glaucoma? Because do you have to use another instrument or?
Well, glaucoma is based on damage to the optic nerve itself. So there are people that have, as he was saying, that have high eye pressure. So basically, glaucoma becomes a concern when there's damage to the optic nerve and that would be indicated by visual changes.
So on nothing note, so besides vision, is there any other symptoms that determines glaucoma?
If you have a sudden, there's sudden onset of glaucoma, and so if you can imagine a sudden burst of pressure, it can be painful. So there can be pain associated.
How was the accuracy actually measured? And how much more accurate was the Goldman compared to the non-contact tonometer?
For which one? Comparing both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, so like Ron was saying, it does take technical expertise over the non-contact, and the non-contact does give a digital readout. But since you're in an office with a medical person, like an optometrist, they've been trained through experience to know the accurate readings. It is accurate enough because they have been trained to do it. Whereas with the air puff, there can be certain data that can be skewed with that too.
After somebody's diagnosed with glaucoma, is there something you can do to reduce the pressure in the eye, or is it sorry, you're stuck with it?
I think, yeah. Honestly, stick a needle in.
Amanda, your question was how can you reduce the pressure?
Can you reduce it?
Yeah, I think that you give out eye drops or something, because I know somebody that has glaucoma and it's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing you can do is usually use eye drops to help.
There's also a procedure where they take a laser and drill a hole for a hole through the top of the eye, and then the level of the fluid in the eye will drain down to that hole.
One more question?
When you go to the optometrist, which one's the most common test?
I think it depends on the optometrist, because I've actually never had the air puff. I've only had the Goldman used on me, but I've heard people that have used the air puff. I think it depends on what the doctor's preference is.
Okay. It's not when they suspect you already have glaucoma, they don't use the tonometer.
Well, when they use the tonometer and all that kind of stuff, they're trying to check for glaucoma, but if you're younger, they're just testing your eye pressure to see that it's normal. And it could be a preventative measure for it. So, I guess like I said, it depends on the doctor that they want to use.
Let's move on.